I begged my ex-husband to take me back, but he said he couldn't because I broke him. He didn't yell when he saw the hickey. He just stared at my neck, then at the glass in his hand, and crushed it like he forgot it was real. I watched blood drip down his wrist and onto the floor, and for a second I thought he might hit me. But he didn't. He just looked at me like I was already gone. I guess I was. We met when I was 19. He was 21. Everyone said it wouldn't last. We got married anyway, 2 years later, had 5 kids before I turned 35. 3 girls, 2 boys. We were that couple everyone pointed to and said, they figured it out. It wasn't glamorous, but it worked. He worked 60 hours a week and still came home and washed dishes. I stayed home, raised the kids, held it all together. We didn't travel, we didn't party, we had soccer games and math homework and sick days and birthdays, and he always remembered them. When our oldest daughter left for college, something cracked. When the second one left, it widened. By the time the third followed, I barely recognized the house. The noise had been replaced by silence, and I couldn't pretend anymore that wiping counters and folding towels was enough. He still kissed me goodnight and made me coffee in the morning, but I stopped noticing. I told myself I was tired. I told myself he didn't see me anymore, but I was the one who turned away first. I got a job at a call center, customer support, nothing glamorous, but it paid. The kids didn't need me around as much, and I needed something that was mine. I wore jeans that fit too well and started counting calories again. I made friends with the younger girls in the office. They were loud and bold and angry at everything. I liked that about them. They laughed too hard, talked too much, and didn't apologize for any of it. They called my husband a beta, said he looked like the type to cry after sex. They said I could do better. They said I should be having fun. One of them introduced me to Matt. He was 6 years younger, cocky, full of lines I should have rolled my eyes at but didn't. I let him flirt. I flirted back. The first time we kissed, I felt 20 again. The second time, I stopped wearing my wedding ring to work. For 4 months, I played 2 lives. I came home to a man who still rubbed my back when I sat on the couch and who brought home my favorite snacks from the store. Then I'd sneak off to hotels during lunch breaks or stay out late under the excuse of overtime. I told myself I deserved it. I told myself he never really understood me. I told myself it was harmless. But I got mean. That's the part I can't excuse. I started picking fights over nothing. I mocked him for how he dressed. I rolled my eyes when he talked. I rejected every kiss, every touch. I started treating him like a burden. And he took it. For a while. Then one night I forgot to cover up the hickey. I didn't even see it in the mirror. He did. That glass broke, and so did everything else. He didn't scream. He didn't ask questions. He just walked to the bathroom, wrapped his hand in a towel, and came back out looking like I was a stranger who'd broken into his life. I admitted everything. 4 months. One man. It wasn't a mistake. It wasn't emotional. I wanted it. He said one thing. We're done. He packed a bag, called a friend, and was gone. In under an hour. I stood in the kitchen, waiting for the kids to come downstairs. I didn't know how to explain it. I still don't. The next few days were chaos. The boys wouldn't look at me. My oldest called me selfish and hung up. The younger girls just cried. My youngest, 9 at the time, asked me why Daddy left and if it was her fault. I told her no. That part wasn't a lie. Matt didn't help. He showed up uninvited, thinking we could finally be together in the open. He was arrogant, careless, and way too comfortable in a house that wasn't his. The kids hated him on sight. So did I, eventually. I kept pretending it was fine, that I chose this, that I was free. But I was just walking through ashes, pretending they were confetti. Everything was quiet in the worst way. Dinner was silent. The house felt like a hotel with locked doors and strangers who shared blood but nothing else. I kept thinking it couldn't get worse. It did. Matt started showing up more. He left his toothbrush in the bathroom. He touched my waist in front of the kids. He tried to discipline my youngest son once, and that was the last straw for him. He stormed out and stayed with his dad. My ex didn't say a word. He just stopped showing emotion at all. He dropped the kids off without making eye contact. He looked through me like I was a glitch. I found out later he moved just 10 minutes away. He didn't want to be far from them. Not me. Just them. I kept telling myself I'd made the right choice. That I was alive again. That this was better. But then Matt started talking about quitting his job and moving in. He talked about starting over. He even joked about getting me pregnant again. I laughed. But I felt sick. I was already carrying too much. And then one night he got angry. Really angry. Threw his phone at the wall, screamed that I was a cold bitch, said I used him and ruined his life. He stormed out. I sat on the couch and stared at the broken phone screen, and I realized I didn't feel anything. Not fear, not sadness, not regret, just numb. The next morning, my son came home from school with a black eye. He said one of the boys teased him about his mom's new boyfriend. I told him I'd talk to the school. He said don't bother, said he didn't care anymore, said Dad was the only one who cared anyway. He signed the papers without a word, not even a raised eyebrow. No sarcastic comment, just flipped through each page, signed where needed, slid the folder back across the table, and left. The lawyer looked more heartbroken than he did. I drove home with the windows up and the radio off. He found an apartment 10 minutes away, said it was to be close to the kids, not me. The boys visited him constantly. The girls didn't speak to me unless they had to. My oldest texted me once, "Don't expect me to forget?" Then nothing after that. The youngest stayed, but only physically. She ate dinner in silence and asked about Dad like I was a customer service rep. Matt started staying over more. It wasn't romantic, it was strategic. He moved his gaming setup into the living room and used my kitchen like it was his. He tried to bond with the kids. They ignored him. He'd make jokes, get no response, then sulk like a child. Once, I caught him pacing in the hallway muttering that they'd come around eventually. I stopped making excuses for him in my head that day. Then came the night he showed up drunk. I told him not to come over. He did anyway. Said he missed me. Called me cold again. Said I was lucky anyone even wanted me. Then he grabbed my arm too hard. My daughter walked in while I was trying to pull away. She screamed at him to let me go. He turned around and slapped her. Not hard, but hard enough. That was the end of it. My ex showed up before I even finished the call. He didn't knock. He didn't speak. He walked in, threw Matt against the wall, and broke his arm in 2 places. Clean. Then he dragged him out by the collar, tossed him into the backseat of his car, and drove him to the ER. Said he fell down the stairs. No one questioned it. Matt never came back. He changed numbers, deleted social media, disappeared like a deleted file. I never saw him again. But the damage was already done. The kids didn't trust me. They walked on eggshells. I apologized 1,000 times in my head, but couldn't form the words out loud. Every attempt at connection felt forced. They stayed out more, ate in their rooms, answered questions with shrugs, or nothing at all. I had no credibility left. Then my ex started sleeping around. Not discreetly, not quietly. I heard about it from one of my old coworkers who used to joke that I was too uptight. She said he'd taken her out for sushi and booked a hotel room before dessert. Another woman I used to be friends with posted a picture of his car outside her place. One of the same women who used to tell me I deserved better. I couldn't say anything. I'd started it. I set the fire and acted surprised it burned the whole house down. I tried dating, made a profile, matched with a guy who asked if I was emotionally available or just legally single. I unmatched him, met a guy for coffee. He talked about his divorce for 45 minutes and asked me if I missed being touched. I went home and deleted the app. I still saw my ex at drop-offs. He stayed polite. Never cruel, never warm. He brought snacks for the kids, asked about school, and left. He didn't look at me. He didn't linger. I started wearing makeup again, hoping he'd notice. He didn't. Then one night, he called a family meeting, told all the kids to be there. I expected a fight. Instead, he told them to stop treating me like a stranger. He didn't sugarcoat anything. Said I'd made mistakes. Said he had too. Said we weren't getting back together, but I was still their mother. Said disrespect wouldn't be tolerated. I sat there in silence while he defended me to the children I'd pushed away. None of them said much that night, but the mood changed after that. My son started asking if I needed help with groceries. My daughter started answering my texts. The youngest crawled into bed with me one night and asked if I still loved Dad. I said yes. She said she did too. That was it. It didn't fix anything, but it started something. I stopped making small talk at work. I watched the same coworkers who encouraged me to cheat flirt with new hires and talk trash about their own partners in the break room. I saw them clearly now. Miserable people who wanted company. I started avoiding them. Ate lunch in my car, put in my headphones. One day I walked in on them gossiping about me. Said I was desperate, washed up, pathetic. I didn't argue. I just kept walking. Then I went to HR and filed a formal complaint. Gathered every screenshot, every inappropriate message, every email they ever forwarded with dirty jokes. 2 weeks later, they were let go. That night, I sat on my porch with a glass of water and felt nothing. No victory, no peace, just quiet. I didn't miss Matt. I didn't miss the girls at work. I missed him, my ex, the man I spent over 2 decades building a life with. The man who held my hand in every delivery room and brought me tea when I was sick. The man who called a family meeting to remind our kids that I was still their mother, even after I humiliated him. But he wasn't mine anymore, and I knew he never would be again. 2 years after the divorce, I bought him a Father's Day card. Nothing romantic, just a thank you for the meeting, for the way he handled Matt, for not turning the kids against me when he easily could have. I left it in the mailbox at his place with a bag of cookies our youngest had baked in school. She asked if it was okay to give them to him. I said yes. She said he was the best dad in the world. I said he always was. A week later, we were all at our daughter's birthday. 13th, he helped set up chairs. I helped with cupcakes. We didn't talk much, but when the party ended and the kids went upstairs to watch a movie, we were alone in the kitchen for the first time in months. He refilled the trash bag. I wiped down the counter. I made a joke about how old we were getting. He half smiled. I touched his arm and leaned in without thinking. He pulled away. Not fast, not aggressive, just final. I mumbled something and left the kitchen. He stayed. That night, I cried in the shower without sound, just sat there under the water like it could rinse off everything I'd done. It couldn't. 2 months later, our son came home talking about his favorite teacher. Said she was smart and pretty and gave extra credit if you read books. I didn't think anything of it until he said she'd met Dad. I asked how. He said they were dating. She was 32, no kids, never married, a decade younger than him. Beautiful in that effortless way some women are. Long hair, soft face, kind smile. The type of woman who gets asked for directions at the grocery store and always knows the answer. She started attending school events with him, always polite, always helpful. She offered to braid my daughter's hair once when I struggled with it. I said no. Then she got pregnant. My daughter told me, said Dad was over the moon, said he bought baby books and was repainting the nursery himself. I locked myself in my room and didn't come out for a full day. Not because he was having a baby, because he got someone else pregnant before I had the chance to earn my way back. As if there was a deadline I didn't know about, I had a breakdown, not loud, just slow and steady. Stopped eating, stopped sleeping, missed work, got called in for a review and almost got fired. Cried in the break room, head between my knees. One of the managers texted him. I never found out what she said. The next day, his new girlfriend showed up at my door. She didn't insult me. She didn't cry. She didn't even say my name. She handed me a list of therapists she'd researched and said one of them had an opening that week. Said she'd already paid for 3 sessions, said I should take it. Then she left. I went. The therapist didn't ask me to explain everything. She just asked how long I'd felt like I didn't matter. I told her 20 years. She nodded, said it was common, midlife crisis, identity loss.